Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Mostly.
They mostly come out at Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Well, hello, everyone. This is just real quick. This is gonna be a last episode of the year.
Yes, we ended it with a festive one.
With a festive one. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry whatever you celebrate, all that good stuff. We wanted to go out with, a festive holiday treat because I don't think we've done that in the podcast history. We've done like holiday themed movies, but never around where the holiday actually was. So,
And this wasn't originally planned, but the topic came up, and I was just like, wait a minute.
well, we kind of decided that we should, it made sense.
Because I was like, wait, there is a movie from '84 that is Christmas.
Now, it wasn't in our lineup of where it was supposed to be, but, we made a special exception.
Because
Why not? Also, if you haven't already done so, it would really make our holidays that much better. Our Christmas, we both celebrate Christmas, so it'd be such a great gift if you went, liked, comment, subscribe.
As a lovely Christmas
Christmas gift. If you're like, I really enjoy Team Cone. What gift could I give them this year that would really matter to them?
Some sort of subscription.
Yep, some sort of follow, anything like that. So if you wherever you listen to our podcast, if you listen to it on YouTube even, why not?
Why not?
Give into the holiday spirit, okay?
Please and thank you.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate your support. We'll get into the sappy stuff after after the movie has been critiqued. We're not really critiqued. We're gonna gush. It's a gusher.
It is a gusher.
It's a gusher. We watched Silent Night, Deadly Night.
The only other bit of housekeeping.
Oh, sorry. We have other housekeeping.
One of you lucky people dropped quite a few recommendations. Specifically, blaxploitation movies.
Hell yeah.
And
I'm excited about that.
So I did add those to the list. One of your recommendations is quite well liked now. So I might just be enough of a mad lad and say whatever, it counts, because it is blaxploitation. It is a B movie, and Jimmy's were rustled.
There is a very good chance that it was hated when it first came out.
Yes, that it rustled enough Jimmys, and
because cult followings are a thing. So there could
so
be
chances
enough...
are one of those films you recommended. I will probably have it on here just because I'm as the nerds would say in this scenario, I am the dungeon master.
You are the master of curating our movies.
I am the DM, and what the DM decides goes. So
my equipment, you use all my materials, but you create the list.
I make the list.
You make the list. So
I put us through the torture.
So Alex is on all that. I do see the recommendations too, so don't think that I'm not checking that, but Alex is definitely the one that adds them to the list.
I have a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So just so I don't forget. But thank you for those. Now, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
We had to. It's the holiday season. We got only a few days left until Christmas if you celebrate it. We had to do it.
Had to do it, yeah.
And listen, I get a lot of people reference the second one.
Because the second one is the notoriously bad, garbage day and all that. So it's almost funny because the second one's become such a meme that I think there's a lot of people who reference the second one not even thinking about this one.
Well, and it's also funny because we were talking about this too. The second one has a lot of footage from this one.
Reused,
so,
yeah.
Reused, that's the word I was looking for. So, yeah, reused footage. They just inserted into there because they had to pad out the runtime.
Because the way I knew about this to begin with was I think I saw that garbage day clip where he shoots the guy from the second one, like years ago.
The reason I watched, actually, I remember this. The reason I watched this initially, the Silent Night, Deadly Night, is because I saw an edit where someone put
Falcon Punch.
Captain Falcon, like saying Falcon Punch when the fucking kid decks Santa in the face.
Well, what's funny is I saw that clip too, but someone included it in like a compilation of scenes from the second one.
Yeah.
Because they put that in the second one.
Well,
so
'cause
I knew about this movie because of the second one, and then as I started getting more into horror movies, and I guess movies in general, I heard about the endless rustled jimmies.
Oh, this movie was very controversial
Over
when
this.
it came out. Which is funny because we've reviewed a older Christmas
4 years
movie
before, yeah.
called Christmas Evil, if you remember.
Which also had
There was also, I don't know if you guys are a fan of it, Tales from the Crypt, before this movie came out, had an episode where they had an evil Santa Claus. No Jimmy's wrestled there.
the reason is
I think the marketing has something to do with it.
well,
too.
the marketing with that iconic poster,
Yeah.
but also it's a slasher movie, and nothing quite rustles the jimmies of the squares quite like a slasher movie.
Generally speaking, the mass public does not like slasher films.
See, I disagree because these movies all made a lot of money. The mass public love these, and I think
Well, I guess
they didn't make.
I said that wrong. You're right. I mean, you are right. The mass public does love the
Because there's
slasher
like
films, but
how many Halloween movies are there?
I guess it's good kindling for people to start like a big campaign
The thing
against
is
these movies.
that these movies, and I'll probably expand more on this when we get to our like final thoughts, but slasher movies just I don't know, nothing quite set off.
I guess I didn't mean like mass public. I meant like maybe media, like
Yes.
like media frenzies.
Yes.
Thrive off these kind of movies.
Because it's just pure lizard brain entertainment.
I say with that, let's get into it,
Please.
and we'll kind of explain at the end why it was so controversial,
And
why people like were so up in arms about this movie. So
And you know, I'll even throw in at the end of this. It won't even be my last, because there's another movie in '84 that we are doing that is also fits into this lovely controversial category. But I will have a rant about my thoughts on the stuck-up opinions about slasher movies that I just don't care about.
yeah, that's fair. So let's get into it. So we start out with a family driving to meet. Well, not to meet. They're going to visit their father, who's in a mental institution
By the way, we didn't mention this is filmed in our
in Utah. Okay, yeah. So that again, yeah, you're right. Double whammy here.
yeah.
Not only is it December and we're doing a Christmas movie, it also is filmed in Utah, which we live in. And my family owns property very close to where they filmed this movie.
Yeah, if you're a local, it's filmed in Heber Valley, all around there. Yeah, you guys, for us, it's literally, we can drive there.
I've been there so many times. I actually recognized quite a few of the buildings.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone who lives in the Salt Lake area has been out there. So
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's right next to the mountains. It actually like makes a good backdrop for
Yeah.
the whole movie.
it's very Christmassy.
Well, also like everything is covered in snow and
Yeah,
it's,
they filmed it like
yeah,
perfect
perfect timing.
peak winter. But yes, it's a family visiting their grandfather
Who's in a mental institution. So they go there.
It's before that it's mom, dad, and their two kids.
Yeah, so there's
Younger-
a newborn child and then a like a 4-year-old.
4 or 5-year-old.
Yeah,
He's
4 or
very young.
5-year-old. Because they do a couple time skips. So
And they talk about like, when are we going to be home? I'm like, because I want to see Santa. And then mom kind of says like, you can't see, like, oh no, he says like, can I stay up? I want to see Santa. And she says, no, that's like,
well, Santa doesn't. That's naughty. Santa doesn't like give anything to naughty kids.
and that'll come up.
So they go meet Grandpa. He's totally like zoned out, like not even like talking or
And
speaking
they're
with
just
anyone.
like, oh my god, he's gotten so much worse.
So the doctor's like, yeah, he's gotten a lot worse. He's kind of regressed.
If you want to look at like the paperwork,
Let's
come with
talk
it.
about it in my office and we'll go over it. And they're like, okay, you stay out here with Grandpa. Don't worry, he's not going to hurt you. I mean,
Listen,
but I mean,
I've seen
okay.
the movie, so it's like I knew, but he they leave, and he starts talking to him.
Grandpa immediately sparks up and is like, this is the worst night of the year. Like, if you're naughty, Santa's going to punish you.
Have you been naughty? And the kid's like, I guess, maybe.
Well, so he's like, have you been good all year? And the kid kind of nods.
Not all year, yeah.
Well, because like, what kid is good all fucking year?
All 365 days.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, not really. He's like, oh, you see, it's not just that you don't get presents, because he's like, he doesn't give presents to the naughty kids. I heard. He's like, oh, your dad told you that, huh? Well, there's more.
He punishes them.
Punishes them. Do you understand? Everyone who's naughty gets punished.
So he like berates the kid on like how Santa's going to fuck his shit up.
Yep.
And the family comes back and the fucking grandpa immediately goes back to his same position, doesn't talk a single word. So
Basically, like it's like the fucking guy in Friday the 13th who's like, "You're doomed."
yeah,
it's basically
exactly.
that. But they leave, and they're like driving away, and in the meantime,
We get a shot of a gas station. A Santa walks into a gas station.
and the clerk's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
And he's like, oh God. And he's like, where's your Christmas spirit? He's like, oh, I don't like the whole like commercialized, like,
It just seems kind of greedy to me.
seems kind of greedy. And he like starts putting stuff in the bag for the Santa, and he tells him the total, and the Santa pulls a gun.
He's like, "What is this?" He's like, "I'm robbing you, you fucker!" Like,
He's like, open the till, give me all the money. And like the guy's like, well, this isn't very like Christmassy of you, as he like reaches for like a handgun underneath the desk, and then he like raises it up and gets shot.
yeah, he shoots him,
And
takes
then
all the money.
And the guy tries to like, last bouts of strength, like tries to shoot the guy, but the guy shoots him twice more, once in the head and once in the chest.
Yeah, he does the Tom Cruise collateral move on him. And
So he takes the money and he's like, oh, $32.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah, and he gets in his car and drives off.
In the meantime, they're driving home, and the kid just starts asking them like, "Is it true that Santa punishes the naughty kids?"
Well, because now the
Like,
kid
he asked the mom like, "Were you ever naughty?
now the kid is like terrified of Santa. He's like,
Were you ever naughty?" And mom's like, "Maybe like once or twice." Did Santa hurt you? She's like, "What are you talking
and
about?"
she's like, no, like, and he's like, Grandpa said that Santa will punish me.
And then they're like, they start talking to one another like, "What? Grandpa talks?" And they're like, "Well, I guess like Billy, his name is Billy.
He doesn't like lie.
Why would he need to lie?
So anyway, they're kind of talking about this, and then they like all kind of fall asleep, and then the dad sees something on the road.
Mom sees it first.
Oh yeah, that's right, because the mom kind of wakes up and she sees something on the road, and she points it out, and they're pulling up to a Santa.
Santa with his car
Now
on the side.
it's very apparent the closer they get, it's the Santa that robbed the gas station.
But they immediately like tell Billy like, "Hey, you might get to meet Santa after all." And they're pulling up, and the kid has this look on his face of like, "Oh no."
Well, and I mean, you have the same feeling, because it's like, that's the fucking guy who robbed the convenience store.
Yeah.
And is extremely violent. So like, you're like, oh fuck.
Because one of the things that the grandpa told him was, "If you see Santa tonight, you better run."
Yeah. So they pull up. Santa comes over to the car. Is like, hey, I've just been having a bad string of luck, and then it pulls the gun. They reverse very quickly. Try and reverse. He shoots both of the parents.
Well, he shoots the
No,
dad.
he shoots the dad. He shoots at the car twice.
Hits the dad in the head.
Yep. And then so the kid like gets out of the car and runs to like the bushes
Yeah.
nearby, and the Santa opens the door and like the dad falls out dead.
Yeah, like, gun, head bleeding. And then he goes to the other side, like pulls the mom out.
And the baby is still in
The
the
whole
car.
time during this, the baby's like screaming in the car.
So the Santa like forces her down to the ground, opens her blouse, and
And then takes out a knife.
like slits her throat.
The kid sees all of this, and then the Santa guy gets up and just starts like screaming, like "Ho ho ho! Like, where the fuck are you?"
Where are you, kid?
And then he sees all this, and it just like fades to
Like 2
Couple years later.
Yeah, it's like the first shot was at like 72, and now it's 74.
yeah. Now he's in an orphanage.
Now both
Both of them, yeah.
the kids are in an orphanage, and this kid is fucked up because like it's around Christmas time.
They're drawing pictures.
They're drawing pictures of Santa, and the nun tells him to bring Billy to bring up the picture
To the front.
and he
Yeah.
starts hanging it on the wall, and everyone's terrified.
And she's like, "Go to Mother Superior."
So
And he goes to Mother Superior, and she looks at it, and it's like this fucking child's drawing of like Santa with like a knife,
and Rudolph has his like head cut off.
has his head cut off, and
Yeah, it's just a fucked up picture of like Santa dead with the reindeer with its head cut off.
and the Mother Superior is very like strict, like, you are going to be punished for this, and
Well, and she's like, if you punish the kid more
It'll
and
be
like
good.
like negative reinforcement, but then the other nun is like, I don't think we should do that. Like,
she basically says like because it's like she says like he still has trauma.
well, she's like, he remembers all this stuff. Like he saw his two parents die in front of him, and Mother Superior is like, there's no way he remembers that. Like we just need to
We
discipline
need
him.
to smack him out of it.
We just need to
smack it out of him.
discipline him, and then everything will be fine.
Yes.
Do you actually think that happens, though? No.
Because the other one says like every year, as soon as Christmas comes around, he starts getting like this. He starts getting more disturbed.
Well, like anxious and very violent.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, he saw Santa murder his two fucking parents
yeah, he's got
right in front of him.
unresolved trauma.
Yeah.
And it's like, all the kids are like outside playing with the snowman,
And he's in his room,
just looking out.
and the nun comes in and is like, "Hey, like, come out and help us build a snowman.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Like, I'll tell Mother Superior I let you come out."
And then, she goes and he like puts on his coat and everything and starts walking out. And he hears this moaning. He walks down the hallway and looks through a little peephole. And there's a couple like in bed, like having sex.
And you hear, and then you see like a nun's like boots walking down the hall, and it's Mother Superior, and she gets him out of the way,
Like,
and
he yanks him out of the way, opens it up, and starts like takes a belt and starts smacking them, like yelling like, "You're dirty, like bad, naughty, like punishment. You need punishment." And like as it's doing this, it keeps intercutting like the Santa slitting his mom's throat.
so he goes outside to help the kids because he just saw something fucked up too. And then Mother Superior comes out and is like, "What did you see?" And he's like, "Nothing." And she's
Do you
like,
know anything? Do you know what they were doing?
He's like, "No." And she's like, "They were being naughty,
Because they were naughty. It was a horrible thing they were doing.
so
And
they
did-
deserve
and
to
she
be
says,
punished."
Yeah, she says punishment. She says punishment is good.
Yeah, punishment is good.
Punishment is absolute. Like all this stuff.
And then she like kind of grills him on being outside of his room.
But
And
she
she's like-
then, she takes him to his room and
beats him.
spanks him with a belt.
Yeah, beats him on the bum.
Because
And
God
then,
forbid you watch this. God forbid you see something.
And then it like cuts to he like crawls into bed, and he's like trying to sleep, and he's having nightmares, and it keeps like flashing the images of Santa killing his parents. And so he gets up out of bed and tries to go like downstairs for refuge.
Yeah, she catches him.
Mother Superior catches him and
Ties
ties
him.
him to the fucking bed. And then, so he's like tied to the bed, and then the next day it's Christmas. So all
They're
the
having
kids,
Santa come.
all the kids have opened their presents. Like Mother Superior's not about it. She's like, it's too greedy. Like Like, why do all these kids get all these presents? They don't deserve it, basically. Just and then
this movie has a great attitude about Christmas.
yeah, you could tell the filmmakers like kind of fucking hated Christmas.
Oh no, I love how fucking it's only like half an hour in and it's so fucking cynical.
It's like so anti-Christmas. It's crazy, which is funny because it's drenched in fucking Christmas shit.
Oh, it's amazing. The Christmas like set decor is fantastic.
So Mother Superior has this great idea. She tells the other nun that they're going to force him to sit on Santa's lap to get over this trauma.
Because no, she says he's fixed.
Oh, right, yeah, because he's like obeying her finally.
He's fixed.
Because he's finally like agreeing with her and saying everything she wants to hear. And so she's like, he's fixed. Let's fucking get him on Santa's lap. Yeah. That's gonna be the proving point.
So Santa comes there, and they sit him on Santa's lap, and he starts having a fucking freak out.
And Santa like keeps trying to get him to stay still, and the kid like cocks back and just fucking whammies this fucking
falcon punch, yeah.
Just falcon punches this fucking Santa to the ground
and runs up to his room. And the Santa, like his nose is broken.
It's important to the plot, but I do like how they establish this is like a strong kid, like
yes.
Like he's very strong, and that will go through the entire movie. Yes. Because,
But he's in his room. Like,
Slasher's got to be powerful.
Yeah. He's got to have a costume.
Yeah.
And a weapon. But, yeah, he's in his room, like, cowering.
When he's like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to be naughty. I'm sorry.
And then, like, you see the door opens and it, like, freeze frames on his face being terrified. And you know that he's going to get fucking punished again.
So then it jump cuts to 10 years later.
To 1984. In a toy store.
And so the nun is like, hey, he really needs a job. They're talking about Billy.
Yeah.
Because he's 18 years old now. Apparently, well, I mean, she says he's 18 in the scene. And he's like, I'm looking for a stalker. Like young kids can't like lift all these boxes. Like I need someone who is strong. And she's like, well, let me like show you, have you meet him.
And then he walks in and it's like, he's pretty big.
He's kind of jacked. Like you could see he has like big forearms and big like biceps and shit.
And I mentioned that he's like over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, oh, perfect.
He's like, okay, fine. So he starts working there.
We get a little like montage of him like doing work and like getting along with this woman.
Everything's fine now.
It's the last.
You know why? Because it's not Christmas time.
It's the last happy moment you get in the movie.
Yeah.
There's this little montage because it's like he's working.
He's building a relationship with this girl that works there.
You can tell he's got like a kind of like a crush on her, and then
he has like kind of a good rapport with his like coworkers. Yeah. Like especially the stalker guy in the back, because it's important because they get along at first.
For now.
Yeah.
But then there's a part where they unveil, because it's coming. Holidays are coming.
It says Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
It has a drawing of Santa on it.
And you can see he's like shaking. Yeah. He's so scared.
That it's slowly going bad.
Then everything gets Christmatized. It's fucking like it's Christmas again.
And there's this part where like he starts getting grilled by like it's like the stock manager almost.
Well, the stock manager was okay with him at first, and now he's like, you aren't doing your fucking job.
He's like, what's your problem? Like,
he's like, you're zoning out. You're giving me attitude every chance you get.
And the guy's like, I don't care. Just leave me alone. Like, just leave me alone. I don't care. All he cares about, like, he's still like being nice to like that woman coworker of his. And there's there's a part where he sees, what the hell does he see? He sees something that makes him like fall over, remember?
Oh no, okay, so yeah, they hire a Santa.
Yes.
They hire a Santa for the store so kids can come take pictures of the Santa and give the letters. And he falls over when he sees the Santa.
Falls over in
because
pure
he gets
terror.
So terrified that the Santa's in the store.
Yeah, everyone's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. Like, I'm fine."
So he like goes back in the stock room, and like you think everything's gonna be okay because you can just stay in the stock room and ignore Santa, but it's Christmas Eve, and the Santa has canceled last minute.
Well, before this.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
there's a part where
my bad.
You see him and that coworker. They're like laying in bed, getting all hot and heavy.
Oh, I forgot the dream. Yeah. Okay.
Getting all hot and heavy, and you see like the woman scream, and like a knife comes down and stabs the guy.
But quick to mention, he has like the red gloves and he's in a Santa suit.
Yes.
And
Stabs him.
He shreds his fucking side.
And then he wakes up screaming, and again, just like he did when he was a kid, he runs in his corner and starts cowering and saying like, I'm not naughty. I want to be good. I'm trying to be good.
So now it's Christmas Eve, and the like one of the women is telling the owner of the store the Santa canceled last minute, and all they have is women like Mrs. Claus, but they need a Santa
she tells
Claus.
him that, and he's like, well, you know what to do, call the temp agency. And she's like, that's the point.
I did. They only have women.
But she's like kind of hinting like, hey, we have a guy here, put him in a costume.
And they're like, okay.
And he goes in the back and talks to Bill.
And Billy's like, yeah, I'll do anything you want. And
we need
he's
some
like,
help. Like, and then he, without hearing what
well,
it is,
because the owner's very vague about what he's going to be helping with.
he's like, yeah, sure. Because he's a good employee. Everything's fine. And then next scene, he is fully decked out in the Santa
And
costume.
you can tell he's fucking so uncomfortable in that fucking costume.
And they keep they're looking at him like, oh, this is great. Like,
well, I love it because they have a scene where a girl walks up and sits in his lap.
yeah, because they're doing they're doing all the things with the
And
kids.
the girl won't sit still, so he's trying to get her to sit still.
Why are you doing this?
And he's like, why are you doing this? Why? He's like, you know what happens to naughty kids?
They get punished.
They get punished. Do you want to be punished by Santa?
And then she
She shuts up.
and then there's a great part where they're all like, man, he's really good with the kids.
He's so good with the kids as
How does
he's
he get him to calm down?
threatening all
Yeah.
of them.
How does he get them to calm down?
And it's funny because he finally lets the girl go, and she runs to her mom and in terror.
Yeah, and it's and then it's that night, they. I love this because the store owner closes the store.
He's like,
And then
that's it. It's 7:00.
It's over.
Time.
Let's get shit faced.
Let's get shit faced. My kind of guy.
And then he brings out the hidden liquor. Everyone starts drinking, and then
Well, and they even make Billy drink. And Billy's never had alcohol because there was a point where someone tried to get him to
the stock guy
try to get him to take a drink, and he wouldn't.
he's like no, I'll just drink milk.
Yeah.
And yeah, they start drinking a little. He's got a good thing going with that woman, and then.
But then our skis bag fucking stock
guy.
manager has the hots for her too.
And he makes her leave.
Well, they're making out in the aisle, and Billy sees it, and then they go into the stock room.
In the meantime, they're the manager and the other woman that works there. They start singing that song that plays over the end credits.
Mm-hmm. About how
Santa's
you
watching, Santa's waiting.
yeah.
It's basically literally a song about how mommy and daddy have been naughty,
Mm-hmm.
and they won't get presents.
Yeah.
Pretty sinister implications.
Telling.
And he's just standing there getting losing it.
So they go into the stock room, and the girl's like, well, where's my you said you had something for me.
Why don't you just show it to me out there?
why didn't you just show me in front of everyone
He's
else?
See the present I got. Not everyone else wants to see it.
A fucking dickbag.
It's hilarious. And they keep walking, and you know what it is.
And then she tries to reject him.
You're going too far ahead.
Oh,
sir.
no, yeah, sorry. God, fucking Billy walks back there.
No, you forgot.
What?
How do you forget the fucking amazing drunk acting by the fucking boss?
My bad, yeah. Because the fucking boss goes over to Billy.
Because he's going over to him, and he's like, what are you... This is great, Santa. This is great. What are you thinking about? And he's standing there my parents. He's like, yeah, everybody.
You should always think about your parents. And he's like, they're both dead.
And then
he's
he does that thing where he's like, oh, fuck.
I forgot. I'm sorry.
Listen.
Sorry.
Listen. I don't know. Something about this is a little too real if you've ever dealt with extraordinarily drunk people.
It's true because they never fucking remember. Like,
Because that it's so typical. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
oh,
Listen, Santa.
oh fuck. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, anyway,
Listen. You got a big night ahead. And he's like, what?
he's like, you
Come
better
on.
sober up.
Don't you know what Santa does? He's like, yeah, I do.
Well, we also forgot the key script, dialogue, where he says, we'll get you so drunk you'll think you were Santa.
They say that, like when they start drinking first,
Yeah.
you'll really think you're Santa Claus.
Yeah, we'll get so drunk you'll think you really are Santa. So, okay, now
Yeah, because he goes away.
he
Billy
goes
walks into the back.
he goes in the back and he's looking for both of them because he's wondering what they're doing. And the guy she starts rejecting him. And he forces himself on her and opens her blouse.
Gets on top of her.
Opens her blouse the same way it happened in front of the car.
Gets on top of her.
And Billy sees this and is just against the stock. It's just frozen
And
in
it starts doing
terror.
it starts cutting, doing crazy cuts of him remembering
And
what
he's
happened.
just dripping with sweat. And then finally he decides to act.
Well, it's stops and he gets this grin on his face. And
So he goes into the back stock room.
I am become Santa.
He takes the guy. He forcibly removes the guy off of her, and she crawls to the corner. And then he takes some lighting off the wall, wraps it around this guy's throat, lifts him with one fucking arm, and chokes him to death.
He chokes him so hard it cuts his fucking throat. Kills him, and then
Well, and then instead of thank you, she's she just fucking saw him kill a guy in front of her.
Yeah, literally.
So she's like, you're fucking crazy. What the fuck was that?
and then he just punish.
And he takes a box cutter and just from fucking belly button to fucking chest, slices her open.
Now I do want to mention, because this is it's I guess it's apt in a just to show the disrespect towards these movies, because this is the uncut HD Blu-ray version that we got, and when they released this, they put in the stuff that was edited out by the MPAA.
The studio or
Well, the studio had to edit it out so the movie wouldn't get an X rating.
okay.
Because the MPAA had a fucking hate boner for slasher movies. So the stuff that's cut back in, it was kept in such bad quality.
You can really tell which
cuts-
scenes were in the actual movie
Yeah.
and which ones were cut.
Because when it cuts to the footage that was edited out, it's almost VHS quality versus crystal clear HD.
Yeah.
Just an example of the disrespect.
And I think the box cutter scene where it shows him cutting her is actually that VHS quality.
A lot of the
death scenes are.
yeah, which is unfortunate.
So
But at least we got them.
that would mean that if you watch the original, it's pretty fucking tame for a fucking slasher movie.
Yeah, if all that stuff was edited out of there.
Because it really gives you an idea of how much they cut out of it.
Jimmy's rustled, Will.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kills her, and the guy, the manager is he's still drinking, and he's I think I heard something. So he walks back there.
And he's looking for him, and then he sees the woman.
He doesn't see anything.
Oh no, yeah, he doesn't see anything.
But you see Santa creeping around, and then he's looking around, and he's oh, whatever, you're drunk. And he starts walking back, and then he screams because you see Billy come out with a
a hammer.
a hammer.
It looks like an ice pick,
Yeah.
but
And you see it flying towards him, and then you see blood splatter onto the box.
so then the last woman, the sales floor manager or whatever.
Because all the lights go out.
Yeah, she's like, "What is this?"
And then the only lighting,
Is all the Christmas lights.
all the Christmas lights. So it's very
She's
Christmassy.
she's like, it looks great out here.
out
Come
here."
here and look. And so she goes into the back stock room, And she's like looking around. She's like, "What? Where are the lights? I can't see anything." And then she finally sees the fucking manager
with the
laying
hammer.
on top of all these boxes with the fucking ice pick like directly in his fucking head.
Yeah, as she screams and runs out, and gets attacked.
Well, she runs to the front registers.
Oh no, she goes to the phone.
Yeah, she grabs the phone, tries to call out, and then an axe comes down. Oh, you see him take the axe off the wall, and then it comes down. It's like a fire axe, and it comes down right in front of her, in front of the phone. So she gets scared, runs into like the aisles, and he's like trying to find her while reciting.
'Twas the night.
"'Twas the night
Christmas.
before Christmas," and he finally sees like something.
She's wearing like a hat,
And
so he sees it.
He sees the feather, and so he creeps around the corner, like tries to axe her. It's like a bunch of boxes.
So she like set it there as a decoy.
She like pushes him down, and then like tries to get to the exit. But
She also grabs his hammer
yeah,
or his axe. Sorry.
yeah, and so she's gonna break the window, but he's like, "Hey!" And then like he has like this bow and arrow.
And then he fucking shoots
fucking
her.
like shoots her right in the chest with the fucking bow and arrow, and then leaves the store.
Yeah, leaves the store with the axe.
We should also mention, it also showed like a quick scene of the nun like realizing what is going on, where he's working and like what time of the year it is, and so she's on her way to the toy store while all this is happening, and she finally gets there and sees the woman dead with a bow and arrow in her chest.
I think I don't remember how it happened, but I think someone told her that the reason that the alarm bells went off.
Well, someone told her that he had to play Santa.
Yeah, that he had to play Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And that's when the fucking but yeah, he leaves, and the nun like comes in to the store and immediately sees the dead body of the woman, and it does this, and then you see like all these like there's all these like Nutcracker dolls
And all their mouths are wide open.
as she's screaming, and then you see like this like these Christmas carolers, and it like zooms into this house behind them, and there's
it's
a couple
on a pool table trying to get it on, and a little girl comes out and is like, Denise, can I stay up and like wait for Santa? And like
she says like, if you stay up, Santa's not gonna come.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, yeah, he's not.
Well,
the
I
only
also
one.
love, we forgot to mention when it zooms in on like past the carolers, and then he's like, oh, I can't hear anything over this racket, and so he turns on.
I can't do it like this.
He turns on sex music, but again, since it's a Christmas
themed.
movie, it's Christmas sex music.
It's Christmas themed.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
yeah, the sound of the children caroling is not it's not good for the mojo.
I mean, that's
Fair.
understandable. I probably couldn't get it on
Listen,
with a bunch of carol music, but
I totally understand.
I get that too.
Yeah,
So
it's on the sex music.
well, and she's like, so she like starts putting on her blouse again because she thinks the kid is coming downstairs, and then she says, "Oh, you're gonna get in trouble if you stay up because
He won't come if
he won't come." And then so the girl goes back to bed, and they try and get like back into it, but then she hears the cat.
you hear
We hear
jingling,
hearing jingle bells.
You know what that is.
So
Because they've already established every time he walks around in his costume, there's the jingles. But she's like, oh, I gotta get with the cat. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? How do you know? She's like, I hear it jingling.
what, aren't they playing like Blue Christmas or something like on the fucking radio? Something about blue something. I was like, yeah, he's gonna get blue balls for Christmas.
Well, as she leaves, he's just like, I can't believe this.
And she like just puts on her fucking shorts.
Yeah, so she opens the
She
door.
doesn't put on her blouse for some reason. Opens the door like wide open, just topless.
And she's like, okay, I don't see anything.
She's like, all right, you're gonna stay out there until Christmas Day, and starts closing the door. And the cat
runs in,
and she starts closing the door and sees fucking Santa with the axe.
Punish!
And like she closes the door real quick, and the axe comes right through the fucking door.
Yeah, Shining style. He just destroys it.
And he walks to her, and she like runs away, and they're like, she runs like into the wall in the living room, and he throws the axe, and like it like pierces the wall right next to her.
According to IMDb, that was they actually threw a real axe.
That's insane.
at the wall
That
next
is,
door.
that is fucking mental.
Listen, dedication.
That is some dedication to the craft.
But yeah, they start tussling.
And he eventually gets the upper hand, and he has her on his shoulder, and he's
And you
like
see-
looking for things to kill her with,
Yes.
because his axe is in the wall, and he can't grab it right now. So he sees a fucking deer head.
And and I swear this is like, judging by the footage, this was apparently the most Jimmy Rustling scene for the normies, because half of the scene was obviously edited out, where he fucking takes her and jams her onto the antlers, and
Which
you
is
see
a shame that it wasn't like in the movie originally, because the effects are actually really good.
yeah, because you see it like penetrating through her like stomach,
Yeah.
and then like boom, like she's on there, and it's just like this fucking like T pose almost of her like hanging on the wall.
And so the guy gets annoyed, and he like
What the fuck?
he's like he comes upstairs. He's like, "Where are you?" He's like, "Denise, where are you?"
He sees
Like
the door just annihilated.
Oh, fuck! And he like
what the
goes
hell?
he goes in the living room. He's like, "Denise, what's going on?" And like he turns around and sees her on the fucking antlers.
Gets attacked.
Gets attacked. He starts like hitting the Santa with like a coal poker.
Yeah.
And like hits him, like knocks him down.
Yeah, and then he calls 911.
But then the Santa, I mean Billy, like grabs him before he can say anything, and like chucks him out the window.
And as he flies out the window, he gets like a gigantic piece of glass. Like,
Shit, sorry. Yeah.
bless you, sir.
Thank you.
He gets a gigantic piece of glass impaled in his stomach and in his face. But he like got through enough to, I guess, like, get to the police,
Right. And so the police are looking for a Santa now.
because at this point also the nun told them.
Yeah, the nun says that he's dressed up as Santa, so they know they're looking for a Santa that's going into homes and killing people. And while they're on the way there, Billy runs into the little girl.
Yes.
So he gets his axe and he runs into the little girl, and he's like, "Have you been good?" He's like, "Have you been naughty?" And she's like, "No,
I've
not
been
at all."
He's like, "You've been good all year."
And she's like,
and you
"Yes."
see him taking out the box cutter, and then he's like, "Good," and he just
He
gives
hands her the box cutter
and leaves.
and then like just leaves.
Here you go, child.
So we get a scene of there's a Santa like crawling on a ladder
Into a window, and of course
into
the
a window,
cops
and the
drive
cops like
past, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
They bust into this house. They go upstairs, and it's the fucking dad trying to surprise his kid,
And they're just pointing guns.
and he like pulls his beard down and
She's
like,
like, "Daddy."
"Daddy," and
Cops like, "Daddy."
at least there was one lighthearted scene, because it doesn't get much more lighthearted
does
from
not.
here. So, not lighthearted at all. Actually, it goes worse. So now,
He's in the woods.
yes, okay,
Well, no,
yeah, right.
It's two guys in the woods,
It's two guys in the woods, and they're gonna go sledding because they found a hill that no one has been on.
and it's like, look, it's pristine
I don't understand why they'd go sledding in the middle of the night, but whatever.
because no one's there
Fair.
except.
Yeah.
But they're one of the guys gets on his sled, and you hear jingling, and
He's like, I think someone's out here. I think
the
we're
guy's like,
not
"What are
the
you
only
talking
ones
about?"
here.
and then stops, and they're like, okay, maybe it's just my imagination. And then two other guys like jump out of the woods.
Two like adult guys.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, oh fuck, and you can tell already that it's like two fucking bullies.
When he's like, I don't want to ever grow up to be as stupid and as ugly as you.
And then the guy's like, because he's like, oh, I know. You think you're gonna steal our sleds? And of course he calls him out. The guy like punches one of them in the balls and like puts the other guy in a headlock. He's like, take it back, you fuckface. And they take their sleds. The guys run. The guys, they walk away.
Yeah,
And naughty.
they've been naughty. So the first guy goes down the hill. Everything's fine. He's like, yeah, come on down.
He's like, I'll show you.
I'll show you. Watch this. And he like starts sledding down. And then you just see fucking Billy come out of nowhere with the axe and
POV,
swing
yeah.
it. But you don't see it connect.
But
and
you
then,
know.
And then you see the friend watching his friend's body come down the hill, just headless. And then the head like fucking rolls after it.
It's great.
And he's like, "Oh my god!"
great.
Like then Billy kills him.
He doesn't kill him.
No, he doesn't kill him. That's
No.
right.
Because it cuts to the next day.
Oh, you're right. Because presumably Billy killed the guy, obviously, but
They only cite 3 deaths, 3 additional deaths that next day.
yeah,
So that means the 2, the couple and the headless man.
yeah,
He lost his head. Well,
he did while sledding.
don't lose your head. But it's because the nun is sleeping in the courthouse, and the guy wakes her up, and he's like, it's even worse. Like there's 3 more dead bodies.
He's like, I just wish. I mean, he's obsessed with this, so like maybe that will tell us where he's going next. And she's like, I know where he's going next, and you do too because Mother Superior is naughty.
They're planning on they're doing this. They're having another little Christmas thing. They all got their presents, and again, Santa's coming.
So they're all playing out in the courtyard.
Well, there's a scene where one of the kids is like, she's like having her little doll like pretend talking on the phone,
Oh, and yeah, she leaves the phone off the hook
so they can't get through.
because they even show the cops trying to call and no one's answering
Like,
because
okay,
it's
we gotta
just
get over there.
Yeah,
All units report.
yeah. So
And-
we get our cop or our first responder cop guy. He goes there. And he's like driving past, and they're like, "Do you see anything?" And like the kids are all playing in the courtyard, and they see Santa coming up,
They're all excited.
and you're not sure because it looks like the same Santa
just-
suit and everything.
Yeah. Well, they don't. You also don't see his face or anything.
And so the Santa's walking up to the kids, and then the cop sees that, and he's like, "Stop right there! Like just don't go any further." And then the Santa keeps walking, and he shoots the Santa 3 times. Blood splatters over one of the kids, and then all the kids run inside scared, and they go up to the Santa, and it cuts to the head police officer
Well, they're driving and they're like, okay, we got him.
when he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry that we couldn't have stopped him from killing." He's like, "I'm sorry that we couldn't avoid his death." Basically,
But it's over now.
But it's over now, so no more deaths have to happen.
And then one of the
And
guys
then-
like, hey, there's a problem.
They're like, "There's a problem. The description doesn't match
And the
this
guy's
guy."
like, "What are you talking
He's
about?"
like,
And he's like,
"He's 50."
This guy's like 50, and he's definitely not over 6 feet tall.
And she's like, "Oh my god, it was Father whatever.
He's deaf.
He's deaf."
He plays Santa Claus every year.
Yeah, this movie hates Christmas.
So
It's so apparent.
So cynical.
And
love
so, yeah, so they just traumatized a bunch of kids by killing Santa in front of them. And then all the kids are like cowering in the orphanage, and Mother Superior is like protecting them. She's like at the front of the place, and
The show must go on.
yeah. So,
Like everything's gonna be fine. And the guy's like, the cop's there is like, okay, I'm gonna just search the perimeter.
yeah, so he goes around the back and he starts like searching everything.
He finds like a shed that has like a basement, and the door is open. So he investigates. Nothing in there. And he walks back up the steps. Billy's there. He screams naughty and fucking hits him in the chest. He crumples down the steps, and then he's like at the door. Oh no, fucking Mother Superior is like insisting that they all sing fucking Christmas music.
Yep, as Billy like is entering the building.
So they're all singing, and like Billy's like at the door and it's closed, and he's like waving. One of the kids is like, Santa, and then they're all still singing. So he goes and opens the door. Billy comes in, and he's like facing down Mother Superior, and he's about to kill her. And then
Well, he's like lifting the axe, and then like
she's like, Santa's not real.
and then you hear like a few gunshots.
Well, no, you also hear him saying lies,
Yeah,
and she's like, Santa doesn't exist, lies. And then he's lifting, and yeah, you hear gunshots.
and then you like see him like kind of shake, and he like falls to the side of Mother Superior, dead.
And the other nun is she's there. Then he looks at all the kids and is like, it's okay now, you're safe, Santa's gone forever. Dies. Then it slowly
God.
fucking.
This is the one. This is my one bitch about the movie.
It's really a bitch because how would they have known
It's a small bitch,
what
but
would have happened?
I know.
Because ideally, you just have the movie and then nothing, right?
Well, yeah, they pan up the the brother,
And he's looking at Mother Superior.
and he's like naughty, and then it ends.
And now, ideally, they would have made an actual. Either they would have not done anything after this, or they would have just made a normal fucking sequel.
Or they could have just cut it when he said Santa's dead now.
But it's a horror movie.
I know. So they have to have the kaboom at the
You
end.
have to have the gotcha ending.
I know, but like it's I don't know.
Is it really a problem though?
No,
Because again,
it's-
how would
it's
they have
not.
known?
Like I said, it's a very small bitch.
At the
but, like,
time, they didn't know that this was gonna lead to the fucking memeiest.
I know, but we know what it leads to.
Just no, block it out.
I know.
It doesn't exist.
Listen, like I said, it's really not worth going over too much because it's very small, bitch.
It's like-
I get why they did it. I know what happened after that. So
See, you just pretend it doesn't exist. It's like
we did get Garbage Day though.
It's like on
so,
Her Majesty's Secret Service. For you Bond fans, I just pretend that Diamonds Are Forever doesn't exist. You can't convince me it does.
Listen,
It can't hurt me.
ugh,
It cannot hurt me.
I try and not talk about. I think this is not the wrong podcast for this, but Diamonds Are Forever is one of the worst Bond movies ever made.
And yes, I'm aware that our opinion on this is highly based on the fact that On Her Majesty's Secret Service is such a masterpiece, and it's such a
It is
downgrade.
to this day still my all-time favorite Bond film. One of my all-time favorite movies.
And it's such a downgrade
Yeah.
that it's unspeakable.
I think that's why it's one of the worst ones because, like, I mean, ignore all the fucking, like, isn't that the one with, like, blatant racism and fucking, like, all that fucking stupid bullshit where they, like, put his fucking makeup on to make him look,
I'm thinking of You Only Left.
yeah, I'm thinking of all you
Where
only
they
live
turn him
twice. Yeah, where they turn him
Japanese.
Japanese. Okay, yeah.
No, Diamonds Are Forever is the one where it fucking.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Yeah,
It's
okay,
the
we got
one
it.
where
I got it. Never mind.
he kills the guy at
Yep.
the end by shoving
Yep.
the bomb up his butt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I remember. Yeah. I try and block it out because I think it's like that's what makes it such a fucking bad movie is because Majesty's Secret Service is such a good movie. Again, we're on a tangent.
No,
Totally not that fucking
every movie
podcast.
should end with your villain getting a bomb shoved
No.
up his booty hole.
No, it should
comic
not.
hee-haw manner.
No, it should not. Anyway, Silent Night, Deadly Night is a great Christmas. Not only a good Christmas movie. I mean, it's very cynical. It's very anti-Christmas, but it's a great movie to watch if you want something different for your holiday viewing.
If you have a Christmas horror movie, though, it's like it has to be cynical.
It's true.
Even
'cause,
Gremlins is cynical.
Gremlins is cynical. Black Christmas is cynical. Fucking this is cynical. Like,
You have to.
that's the whole thing with horror movies. They're bleak. They're not supposed to be like happy and cheery.
Yeah,
People are dying.
Yeah, people are getting their shit wrecked, and
Yeah.
and this movie is all about wrecking your
But
shit.
it leans hard into it, and I really appreciate that. The effects are good. The acting is good. The camera work is pretty decent. I mean, it is like a studio produced. I mean, TriStar probably tries to bury this shit.
Yes.
But it is a studio produced movie.
As much as all these idiots try to bury these movies, it's like you did make these
can't.
movies, and guess what? They did make money for you.
They made a lot of money because this came. IMDb trivia said that this came out the same weekend as Nightmare on Elm Street and actually made more than Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah, until they
shit canned it.
until they pulled it from theaters due to the old rustled jimmies.
Yeah. So there's lots of controversy, but honestly, as far as slasher movies go, I've actually seen a fuckload worse.
I mean,
But it's good. I mean, I get it because they don't want like the whole Santa motif and Santa killing people and like kids possibly seeing it and being trauma. I don't know. There's some bullshit arguments, but
I don't. It's listen. It's
I don't buy into them.
I don't buy into them because it's a slasher movie, and the amount of bullshit arguments about these movies are so.
I think it's a great movie, though.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
it's a
I'm.
fantastic
That's what I'm trying to say. It's a really good movie. It's worth a watch if you definitely like that kind of shit where it's like darker Christmas movies, because there's a lot of them.
Because a lot of people, when they do their Christmas movie viewing, they usually throw in a few, kind of curveballs, kind of darker things. And listen, I think this is, if you have not seen this, please watch this movie.
Yes, go watch this movie, especially now. It's a great time to watch it. Get those Christmas vibes going. If you're a little cynical, it'll be even better.
Listen, if you like slasher movies, if you want to see a darker, fucked up take on this whole thing, like, you have to see this. Hell, if you want to watch like a movie, if you're like me and you like seeking out movies that are kind of controversial, another reason to watch this thing.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is regarded like so controversially, and so it has a cult following because of that too, and it's just a great watch. I don't know, it's a good movie to watch. I don't know exactly where you can find it easily.
I think you can rent it, pretty sure.
Okay, yeah,
I'm pretty sure you can rent this on Amazon, and like thankfully you can actually find this movie.
yeah, and it is a 720 like Blu-ray rip. Like we said, you probably will notice those scenes that were cut
Because
I mean, it's very apparent they didn't fully restore those scenes, probably because they couldn't. But anyway, I would go watch it. Shitty to Pretty. Listen, easy.
fuck the normies.
Yeah,
It's a 10.
10.
Because like
Entertainment, plot is good. Fucking like the everything about this is good.
This isn't even like a shit post. It's an actual like considering the fact that every other horror movie now is about like trauma and like all that, like you have to watch this.
Yeah.
Because this is all about that. It's all about like trauma and like having like a fucked up mental state because of trauma, and then also because of like the nuns and all that, like having a fucked up relationship to like sex.
Well, and like how everyone basically ignores his problems.
Yes.
Like no one actually helps him.
the one person who
like,
doesn't
yeah.
is ignored. Like
no one tries to help him understand this like trauma.
how to deal with trauma healthy and not like just be told to like fucking shut up and deal with it. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's like an actual great fucking movie. But because it's a slasher,
Well, they said that from the very beginning with the grandpa, because it's like, the grandpa's just fucking crazy, and he's just spouting a bunch of like, babble.
yeah.
About Santa to scare the kid.
And then the worst thing ever happens.
And then the worst thing ever happens that solidifies that truth that little small impressionable child was getting.
Yes.
So
it's all there. All the setup it just makes sense. It works cohesively. The pacing is great. I mean, it's only an hour and 24 minutes, but that's all it needs. It's great. No, it's a bad movie. It's a slasher movie. It's bad.
I don't fucking.
There's a bit I do think like when this movie came out, they were like critics and shit who literally like straight up read the names of all the producers and everybody off on like TV and were like, shame on you, and it's like it just endlessly amuses me how bitter people are about slasher movies.
Well, and like in particular,
it's fucking hilarious.
Like, I know a lot of slasher movies have been like picketed and like, people fucking hate them. But like for some reason, you have a slasher movie about Santa and people lose their fucking minds.
Because it's that thing about like a genre that is always like violent, R-rated, like sex-filled movies. And now it's the most sacred, cherished holiday of all time.
Don't you mess with our Christmas.
And it's just for me, because I'm such a fucking like contrarian. I love it even more.
I love this kind of shit, but like because I like when filmmakers they're gonna do it anyway. Like they're like, okay, like we're still doing it. Like
Yeah, like it's a horror movie. Because I don't know, it's like funny because this came out this came out the same year as Gremlins, right?
yeah,
Which was, I mean, obviously Gremlins was not rated R, but still, it's still like a horror-ish movie about Christmas,
but it didn't have Santa killing people.
but it's not a slasher movie.
Yeah, it's a monster movie.
Yeah, so that's fine.
And the monsters are kind of cute.
So that's fine, right?
So that's fine because it's more controllable and more like tame than this.
Same with like Christmas Evil. Yeah, that one's R-rated, but it's not a slasher movie.
No.
That's fine. The Tales from the Crypt.
And it's not a Santa.
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt literally had a killer Santa, but again, it was an anthology movie, and it's not a slasher. It's fine. But as soon as it's a fucking slasher movie, the fucking pitchforks, all that, it is fucking comical. It's comical.
It's crazy how people lose their fucking minds over that.
And it's just funny, like, I just know for a fact that a good chunk of it was also the fact that, like, by this point, some of these movies were so popular. I just know for a fact that there were people who were so fucking livid about how popular these movies were that it's just like that inner rage.
I think people still get mad when slasher movies come out where like they're still up in arms about this kind of content being made. And it's like who are you? Like it just let's just fucking enjoy horror movies. Like
Yeah, what is the problem?
Like what is the problem?
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't know. Like, I still remember.
Like it's not like we're watching these movies and then actually going out and fucking like, ooh, that's a cool way to kill someone. Let me go fucking try that in real life. No. Like, I mean, some fucking like, some psychopath might try that. I don't know, but like, normal people watching these movies and who enjoy slasher movies, I guarantee are not fucking thinking about going and fucking killing people.
There's a slasher movie that I'm probably gonna end 84 on, and I'm not telling. I mean, some of you might already know, but the funniest thing is one of the reviews for it apparently like they called it like a dirty scum bucket of a movie, and then said that like, you people have nothing to be proud of by making this. And it's like, bro, it's a fucking horror movie. Like, unwind the fucking, like, take the fucking stick out of your sphincter.
Well, and I'm sorry, it's just even with just the horror genre, it gets shit on all the time. Like,
oh god.
It like horror in general, like no one fully, I think, appreciates the genre as much as they should.
Well, the thing about horror is that,
well,
occasionally,
I shouldn't say like no one appreciates, because there is a massive like horror.
there are people. Oh yeah,
Like
audiences
a
love it.
lot of people love horror movies. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like mass media fucking hate horror movies.
Well, it's popular to look down on it. Occasionally, you'll get like one movie a year that is deemed worthy.
Well, it's also easy to turn the whole violent people watch violent movies.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to make that narrative.
I also think some people are just endlessly bitter about the simple entertainment of it all.
Lizard brain shit.
I think some people are just deeply bitter about the fact that I can sit down and watch a movie about some dude wrecking a bunch of horny teenagers and be endlessly entertained. And I think for some people that is like so beneath them.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
For me, I don't care. I never got the fucking like endless butthurt about horror movies.
Listen, fuck the critics, fuck mass media. Just watch what you enjoy. Like that. Just fuck it. If you enjoy like this kind of shit, if you enjoy like rom-coms, who the fuck cares? Just let people enjoy things. If you, whatever genre you watch, just fucking enjoy it. Okay?
Like, listen,
I don't even care if you like Hallmark. I fucking hate Hallmark movies. If you love them, go watch them. Who am I to stop you? Like, enjoy the fucking shit you love. I don't care. Just don't tell me what to watch and what not to watch.
Well, thankfully, Will, this film of ours today was a bit more high effort.
Yeah, it's
than
fair.
Your average Hallmark film.
Yeah. So sorry to go off on that rant. It is the end of the year, though, so we got to do a longer one here. On to some happy stuff, though. I just wanted to say, I won't get too sappy here. I'll try not to, at least.
Okay, well.
I really appreciate everyone joining our community. We've gotten a lot of recommendations. We've seen the best growth we've seen since we started the podcast.
Yep.
We're seeing some good numbers. We're seeing a lot of engagement, which is awesome to see. And I just appreciate that. Like, it's taken us a while to get here, and we've trials and tribulations. We've gone through a lot of shit, mostly on our fault, by our fault.
No comment.
We made it through, and we're gonna keep on pushing through. But I just wanted to say how much we appreciate our audience and how much we appreciate the growth and how many people are on board with with two guys sitting and bitching about like horror and action movies.
Yeah, we've gone through 14 years of films.
We made it through Uwe Boll's fucking entire catalog.
Yeah, it's somehow we didn't call it quits right then and there.
I wanted to,
because I was tempted to.
And listen, I mean, this podcast is always going to be free, even if we get monetized with ads, whatever. That's not the point, right?
Yeah, nothing's going to be locked out.
I just wanted to just tell you how much we appreciate our fans. Even the silent ones. Like,
oh yeah, listen.
The ones that download the ones that silently download and just enjoy our podcast on a weekly basis. Thank you. Like, I mean, you guys are still garnering our growth, and we really appreciate it.
Because honestly, guess I too am a silent fan.
That's fine.
So I am the kind of person who never comments on anything. So trust me, I know how you guys are. It's all good. Trust me.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, like, I hope you guys really know how much we appreciate all the listeners. Like, I appreciate every single one of you. I don't know how you feel, but it makes me happy. I like.
Oh, how dare you?
I like that we're able to make people laugh and bring some enjoyable content on a weekly basis. Sorry, I'm getting a little. Like I said, I'm trying not to get sappy, but I'm getting a little sappy. Anyway, I'll end it. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for listening. If you do, and if you're just now listening, your first episode, welcome. And we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, and hopefully the rest of the holiday season is good.
Yeah, I do hope, like, whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. I just hope you have a good, like, end of your 2022, because it's been a ride.
Yes.
It's been 2022 has been a motherfucking ride. Like, and that kind of goes for every year since 2020, to be honest. So
listen, we made it through 2020, so it's fine.
I mean, 2022 kind of gave us a run for our money too, but we're making it through. So hopefully 2023 is a little better, a lot better actually, because there's a lot of stuff that could be better. But anyway, I digress. I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Nah.
All right.
Keep it going, fellas.
Yeah. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for listening. Thanks as always. This has been Will.
This has been Alex.
This is They Mostly Come Out at Night, and we will see you and talk to you in the new year.
We'll see you in a year.
Oh, see you next year.
See you next Tuesday.
I've seen you since last year.
Bro, I got a great idea for the next intro.